podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Social Media Derby. We've got a special episode, midweek, sneaky Premier League game week round coming up. So we've obviously got an earlier episode than usual. But before we get into the episode, for those watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, share if you can. For those listening on Spotify, Apple, or any of the other podcasting platforms, please follow, give us a 5-star review. All of that helps grow the pod. And of course, the views expressed in this are just for entertainment purposes and do not reflect the real opinions of any of us, unless football related. How are you, man, doing? Couple of wins for some of us, most of us on this episode so far. Khem, how you feeling, bro? You doing all right?
I'm here. I dialed in.
You're here so you don't get fined. Yeah, I hear you.
That's it.
Yeah. How you doing, Jonty? How you doing, Io? Still struggling from the Super Bowl?
I'm doing fine. I did not stay up to watch that rubbish. I was sulking after seeing Liverpool absolutely bottle it. So no, I did not.
Did you get your electric blanket?
That rubbish. No, I'm not even. Is that what it is? Because I'm not opening your bloody links, mate.
Yeah,
I'll send it. I'll send it like a scammer.
I'll order it for you. I'll send it to you. I want you to stay warm. Don't shake.
We've got a new record for these two kicking off already under 2 minutes. So yeah, we'll have to try and beat that.
It's getting worse. It's actually getting worse. But the next pod is gonna start with them just swinging at each other. It's gonna be them two getting at it. Still really waiting for.
How you doing though, Io? You did stay up for the Super Bowl. You're struggling, yeah?
I did. It's been a long ass day, but it's any time to come revel in Khem's sorrow is not an opportunity to be missed. So I had to make time for Khem's tears, as some people describe it. So
yeah, big up, man. We're gonna have Rhys and Rhys as well joining us a little bit later on. But let's get straight into it. So biggest game of the weekend. We obviously had 2 Big Six fixtures. United beating Spurs in the early kickoff on Saturday, and then obviously the late kickoff yesterday. Liverpool taking the lead, but somehow losing 2-1 to Man City at Anfield. Khem, I know you've basically checked out and you've already said to me that, man's not got any energy left or anything like that, but you're going to have to find some for this because you're going to have to speak for your team. That was a poor first 45 minutes for sure. I don't know what was going on. Second half, you definitely picked it up until you scored, and then things just went back to quite defensive. Do you think that's a fair summary of the match, or did you see it differently?
I think you've been kind calling it poor, man. I don't know how many minutes it took for them to get a shot on goal at home in a night game, big fixture, and it's not even a team that sits back. Yeah, like I said, win, lose or draw with these guys, I feel nothing. Like I'm Boulder from God of War. If anyone gets that reference, I genuinely feel nothing. Like, it's results aside, it's the same situation. Like, tactically, the guy he's just clueless. It feels like every week he'll have an idea. He's been sitting up all night like Io, watching film. He's got this perfect idea, Dr. Evil. He's ready to freaking have this amazing setup against this team, and it doesn't work in the first half, and they look clueless. And he just rips it up and says, guys, just go gegenpress, get the crowd on your back and hope for the best. Most of the wins or most of our goals have come from moments of magic. It's not been anything because of a system. There's no actual build-up. We dominated good parts of the second half because they put City under pressure, and City are actually quite a bad second half team in general. Like, I think that might have been their first freaking goal in the second half in 2026. That's how shit we are. Oh, sorry. So, like, yeah. So, I mean, it's he got found out again at the Etihad, and then with City able to just press our average build up, and then they were able to do it again. Like, they should really have put the game away in the first half if they're especially Haaland, if he was a bit more clinical up front in the first half, we could have been down anyway. And it's the same, Karabag were able to break through the lines, to be honest, anyway. You said it the other day with Newcastle. Like, I'm just looking, at this point, I'm over a slot anyway. I'm actually looking at, like, Richard Hughes now. I'm like, bro, are you going to do anything? Like, are you going to do anything, bro? Because you're just throwing away a season here with this guy. Like, there's no light at the end of this tunnel here, man. It's just the same crap. Like, to be honest, aside from Szoboszlai's great free kick, were we really likely to score? Like, I was mocking it in the chat when I know you guys obviously root City to not win or at least draw, but I genuinely meant it when I was like, I'm surprised you guys think we're going to get a second goal. Like, when it went to 1-1, you best hope that we somehow don't flop it, because it's the only other outcome would have been City scoring. Like, we're not that good. We are so bad. We're tragic Bronson out here, man. Like, we're not. There's no excitement. I don't feel any excitement to tune into. Look, I actually missed the first 15. I was coming back from the gym, man, because I triggered myself talking to you about these lot. Because he's Brendan. We have Brendan Rodgers still, and we haven't sacked him. We've won 6 games since September. We have won just one Premier League game in 2026. I've seen more fucking Dolphins than Premier League wins in 2026. Yeah, I've seen more sloths than wins in the Premier League in 2026. Yeah, this team is like, what? Why is he still? How is he still here? They must be doing okay financially, because they're clearly okay with not qualifying for the Champions League next season. It seems like they don't mind missing out on that revenue for 26, 27, because we're at a point where Villa, I swear, like I said, if Villa could drop 10 points, we'll drop 12. Like, I don't know what they're doing here with this guy. Like, even to just get like fresh energy into there, take him out of the line. Like, it's getting to a point where I think, like, is it like a contractual thing? Like, is it a legal thing where you can't fire this guy because, like, if you have to, like, I don't know, say goodbye and deal with a tragedy, bury one of your players, you can't, like, fire them in that upcoming season or something. Is that, I don't know. Like, it's I don't know what's going on, but I don't know how it's still.
Get the violins out, mate.
He lost 9 games in 12, and he's still here. We can barely score. We haven't won a game against any of the promoted teams. We haven't won a single game against any of the promoted teams. We're struggling against teams like Wolves. We're struggling against teams like Leeds. We're getting battered by Forest. And I don't know how this guy's still here. And then they don't buy a right back when he clearly needed a right back. So you're not even backing him in positions that are clearly, like, we've had Szoboszlai playing right back for most of the season. He doesn't want to trust the kids. I don't understand. So I'm looking at this Richard Hughes guy. Like, what's going on here? Like, why are we just throwing away a season? Like, do you really trust this guy to turn it around? Because we're just tactically rubbish. Like, a lot of it's the same players as last season as well in the starting 11. Certainly, there's only a couple of new additions in Ekitike and Wirtz, to be honest, and we just look abject, man. I don't know why they're still going on with this nightmare that we're watching. To be honest, there's no fun in watching Liverpool. Well, for you guys, yeah. For us, no. Hate it, man.
But I'm gonna play a bit of devil's advocate. You did have some other chances though. Like, Ekitike should have scored the header. I can remember Wirtz had a semi-half chance, which he could have done better on.
Yeah, there's some moments.
You had some of your attackers got into dangerous positions, but they just weren't clinical. And then, to be honest, Man City's first half, I don't know, maybe Io Johns jump in, yeah, as not. I was going to say neutrals when we're not neutrals. We hate both the teams. But watching City in the first half, apart from the Haaland chance in the first 2 minutes, they didn't actually have loads of chances. They dominated the ball, but for me, they didn't have loads of chances. But they were just extremely clinical. Am I bugging, Io, or is that fair to say?
You're completely right. I think Khem's analysis is completely, like, that is the biggest, like, woe is me. I think you guys had so many chances. Like, Ekitike, how he misses that header is the most absolutely ridiculous thing in the first place.
He was like, woeful as well.
He was, exactly. It was such a clear-cut header. It was, like, harder to miss, and he did, and he missed. He also had, like, a shot. He got played on the left, and he's put it wide. Yeah, the Wirtz attempt was so lackluster. Like, he literally could have put his foot through it, and he's just side-footed it with no conviction. So yeah, I think honestly, I think that analysis was complete.
Well, you're acting like I'm just reviewing the game. I was reviewing the season because you clearly don't watch us live that much. So that what you just saw, because you were obviously trying to root for us as well. That's
no,
what,
I wasn't.
that's what the whole season's been.
I was generally watching. I was just watching
season,
the game.
That's the season in a nutshell.
What you just
said. The
second
half is just Anfield factor. The
I'm relaying what you just said there.
What analyze the first half and tell me what you saw from a team that was.
I'm relaying what you said though. You said you guys didn't create any chances, and
we didn't do anything.
City were more clinical. Yeah, but City had 5 minutes, and City
it wasn't even clinical. City's goals were based off of mistakes, which has been.
I'm saying you're the one that said City were more clinical. So I mean, City weren't that good. City weren't that good.
I didn't say they were more clinical. I said they should have put us away in the first half with the possession and the domination they had and Haaland's chance at the start. But other than that.
They literally had one chance. That's what I mean. Based on this game, I'm not talking about you guys' season. I don't care about that. You guys, the whole woe is me. I have to spend so much money. That doesn't relate to me. Like you guys spent way too much money to be.
Well, again, with the money,
No, wait. Let me finish.
300 million was on 3 of the players, by the way.
Let me finish that. Exactly. So also even saying, and even your point that they didn't sign a right back. He did sign Frimpong. He's not stayed fit. So it's like they've yes, you could have replaced him in January. Maybe bought a replacement in. They didn't. Frimpong can't stay fit. Anyway, but back to the point, back to the game. You guys had in terms of like a back and forth, it was like an old school Liverpool versus City game. Like it was a good watching from the second half onwards, and anybody could have won it. Like it wasn't that City didn't have any clear cut chances, and then the free kick obviously broke them down. And so, based on that game alone, I think it's harsh to be like there was no ideas. Like obviously, maybe it wasn't a tactically great game from Slot, or it's the same old story, which I can empathize with you there. But based on that game alone, I think it's harsh to be like Slot had no idea, because Salah, amount of times that free kick on the edge of the box, one of the most ridiculous efforts I've ever seen in my life. He was just moving like I don't know what he was doing.
That was trash.
And it was trash, exactly. So I think in terms of chances, I think generally you guys could have won that game. And if Ekitike just had his shooting boots on, you could have been 2-0 up, 2-1 up by the time City came back into it, because City didn't have much themselves. A lot of their chances were half chances.
The other thing that you got to bear in mind is that the Guehi free kick that probably should have been or could have been a penalty or a more, let's say, harsh punishment, because I have seen some Liverpool fans online talking about that as well. So I think in my opinion, it was very even. I know that, obviously Haaland probably had the best chance of the first half, but let's be honest, it wasn't an easy chance. He was going onto his right foot, ended up having to just poke it, and I think Alisson did quite well, but I don't see it as being a super, super easy chance. I think he had still a decent amount to do. And outside of that, I think, Ekitike, there were other chances that were had, but I think it's more from the defensive side. I think you just started to make errors. And I don't know why, at 1-0 up, why you don't shut up shop and just say,
exactly.
You know what?
They can't
break down. Because
why do you bring on Curtis Jones when you're trying to chase a second goal, when you could bring on a guy who's probably his best attribute is ball retention? You don't bring him on when we're 1-0 up to get some fresh legs in the midfield. He was one of his plus points last season was his ability to adapt in the game if plan A didn't work. That's not happened at all, man. You can look at the squad. Obviously, our bench was tragic versus what City's always going to have a strong bench, but we're a mess. He doesn't even trust anyone on the bench. I don't even know why he names a bench, to be honest, because he doesn't actually make any changes anyway. The guy didn't make any subs against Newcastle already either, unless you have to go 4-1 up to finally get subbed, it seems, with this guy. And it'll only be the 89th.
You know why? But you know why, Khem? It's because I can empathize. I was talking about empathizing, right? I don't know how Arsenal can empathize, right? You've got the best defense, but I can definitely empathize with you because we've got a leaky defense as well. And and Amrin was doing the same shit. I don't want to traumatize myself again, but if I think about the Amrin times, we would have to be 2-0, 3-0 up with a few minutes left for him to start making changes. He didn't trust the defenders to not concede. And I know you've got Van Dijk and Alisson and these guys, but the Liverpool defense this season has been bad, man. And you've conceded a lot of goals, and you conceded a lot of late goals, which is probably why he didn't want to shuffle the pack too much. if you were the Liverpool that was strong defensively in previous years, maybe he would have done it, man. But I think that impacted like his decision making in this particular game, and it's quite understandable looking at how it played out because, like you mentioned, their mistakes. The first goal that Bernardo scores, I mean, I'm not gonna, it's gonna feel like I have the Van Dijk agenda because I'm always on here just saying that was poor, but like he leaves a massive gap, and then his positioning is all over the place. Kanate is quite unlucky because I don't think he can win that header once it gets a deflection, but he's a bit slow off the mark. And then Szoboszlai is not a right back, and he plays Bernardo on, and it's just a shambles from loads of different areas. And then obviously second goal, Alisson, that stinks, man. You don't expect that of Alisson, right?
He's probably trying to get him sacked.
Yeah, maybe poor decision making. And so I just think I get it. He's not making good decisions, and I understand, bald Dutch manager. I can definitely empathize again, but I don't know if this is the game to be like, as I know you're factoring in the other games, but
subs, man. Chiesa, Chiesa and Inshallah sub 85th minute again when you're chasing the game. Like it's just crap, dude. It's absolutely crap. He moaned about the players burning out last season, and then he doesn't even trust anyone anyway on the bench. Like I don't get it. Like if you want to shut up shop, keep the ball, get Curtis Jones on, get Endo on to try and just break up play and be a destroyer and just frustrate them a little bit because they brought on fresh legs. You know how it's gonna go. And yeah, their goals weren't fantastic, but then it was also just such an embarrassing ending as well. Like with the Szoboszlai, I don't know what the hell that was, but maybe it's a good thing. Maybe him not playing for 3 games, maybe that's a quicker way of getting.
It's only going to be one.
Maybe
it's only going to be one because it's not violent conduct, isn't it? So he's only going to be out for the one Sunderland game. He'll be back after that. But I was going to ask you, man, about that because there's been discourse around it. Some people I think Gary Neville came out and said, just use common sense, just allow the goal. Or what do you, man, think? Jonty, do you think it should have been disallowed? Because apparently that is the letter of the law. But do you think it should have just been let the goal stand and not send anyone off?
I mean, from my point of view, like we moan about the consistency thing, and we particularly moan about, are you going to follow the rules or not? So if we're going to do the common sense thing, and write common sense into the rules, please. Right, and allow there to be like more description or explanation around what it means common sense. You put in a rule saying if the ball ends up going into the net anyway, you don't need to send the man off. But if they're into the rules, then I'd rather they just follow the rule book, right? And I know that everybody has made jokes previously with Arsenal saying, "Oh, it's the rules, letter of the law, this, that, and the other." But like, I honestly think that is the only way that we save ourselves now, because rules might be stupid, but as long as we apply them consistently, everyone will eventually get on board, right, with that. And so from my point of view, like, if that's the letter of the law, just do that. I know it somewhat respect the call, this, that, and the other, but let's be honest, right? Like, I think I saw, who was it? Someone gave a handball away, right, of a shot. It was in a game, maybe. Handball was definitely going into the goal past Nick Pope. And I mean, letter of the law, I don't know what it says, but like his arm was in a natural position and they still gave it because the letter of the law, I believe, says if it's going on target, regardless, going in the goal, a penalty has to be given, right? So from my point of view, like the only way that we get ourselves out of this now if we just follow the rules, right? And then we can have a conversation around whether the rules are actually good or not. But at this point, we're just like constantly at a moving target because they're constantly not applying even the rules. And so you don't even know what the logic is now. And they're rewriting or adding things to the rules to cover their ass. I'd rather they just follow what's in the rules and not have to do that constantly. I know that other people might say differently, and Gary Neville's a example of that. But like, what can we ask for? Like these guys, if we say common sense, where does it end? The next time something happens, is everyone just going to point to common sense like a blanket rule now? Use common sense? Because it wasn't used for a variety of occasions previously, and now we're expecting it to be used. No, just follow the fucking rules.
I think it's a weird one.
I think like the common sense part is I think, yeah, like that's expected because I've seen such asinine decisions. I think especially, I remember the one where we got Martinelli got sent off for like 2 yellow cards in the same phase of play against Wolves or something. And like, it's never been seen before. And then he just did that. And it's just, and like, I'm sure that's, I can't imagine that's in the rule book anywhere. I don't think it's something that they even have to like equate for. But like technically, it looks like it was 2 different fouls and 2, but like it was all one consistent set of play. I think with yesterday's decision, I think the fact the ball went in, and obviously, oh yeah, you played advantage, and now you got to call it back for the foul. I think it's just ticky tack. It's ticky tack. Like there was not ticky tack, but obviously, technically, you're right. But it just, I think, just common sense. Like you said, like it just has to prevail. Like there's just no. It was so needless. Like blow the whistle anyway. The game should have been over a long time ago. Like
I agree with you. In an ideal world, I would like number one that the rules are actually written well. Number two that applied consistently, and then number three that people use common sense in the spirit of the game. Right? That remember, like everyone was pulling up the IFAB rules or whatever after some stuff to us and saying spirit of the game. I think it was when Gabriel like picked up a ball that looked like Ryan passed it to him off a goal kick. And in the Champions League, they decided not to punish him, right? And then everyone pointed to the spirit of the game, common sense, etc. I'd be fine with that, but we have the two prerequisites first. We have to have like half decent rules, and then like a somewhat consistent application of them, and then we can talk about common sense. Because if you can't even apply a rule consistently, what good is it expecting a referee to have common sense? Like we saw one referee have common sense, and now he's fucking reffing the championship.
So, I knew that was going to get brought up. I knew that
because he was actually a ref. Like he was a good ref. I watched that game and I was like, that was a great decision, even though he got forced to go to the screen. And now I saw him fucking referee in a Plymouth game. I'm thinking, what a reward that is.
It's true.
The only thing I'll say, and I'll throw it to you, Khem, right, is I agree with both sides, to be honest. But I think that, it's risky business going with the common sense thing. The only thing I will say is, if that is the rule, why didn't they send off Gahey?
I don't know. I mean, God knows. You know, City have got they when it's like international breaks, the referees from Premier League go and somehow end up on holiday, ironically in Dubai for a little bit refereeing some I don't know, YouTube matches or whatever they want to do over there. So we all know that they're on the payroll. Let's be real, allegedly or whatever.
There's no way Gaze was a red. There's no way Gaze was a red card.
What I'll say is, I was saying to Ant beforehand, like in years gone by between 2017 and 2025, I could say that was definitely a goal scoring chance from Salah. This year, I don't know. I think he probably would have found a way to miss it because against Marseille or somebody, he was 1-on-1 in a similar position and somehow managed to toe punt it closer to the corner flag. He tried to Trivela it or whatever. I don't know. He had a madness. So I actually don't trust him in front of goal anyway. So he could have just left him, to be honest. But yeah, there's no consistency. But we know this with the refs because they're English, they're Brexit. Like we've been over this. We need to allow the boats to have better refs. Okay, like we have terrible refs, and it's been going on for the majority of our lives, and it won't change. And the one good guy that did get demoted, I'm not even fussed. I'm actually not fussed about the result. It's just the way we look, man. The way we look is garbage, week in, week out, and that's all that's going to bother me because we can win games, we can lose games, it happens, but we look trash all the time. And Gahey's beaten us 4 times this season, by the way. Do you know how much that sucks? Like the guy's won 4 times against us. It's not even Valentine's.
He pump fake signing for you as well. I love it, man. Gahey's now my new favorite player. I love that guy. What a guy!
Fake. He was held hostage because Oliver Glasner threatened to quit, and then he left anyway. And Simon Parrish got pump faked by him. Like it's such a stupid club, that lot. You got Mateta crying in Milan trying to leave. Wharton's gonna go. I'm just gonna crash over Palace.
Don't crash on Palace, man. You didn't even play them this week. But now let me flip to you then, Io. So you think that Gahey one wasn't, because I've seen quite a lot of pundits dotted around like different, ESPN and different channels as such say that the Gahey one was definitely a red card if you're going to call the Szoboszlai one a red card, right? Applying the same rule. Well, why do you think it wasn't?
You got literally Diaz is like right there coming, and then like Diaz is covering. I think obviously the angle of it, like obviously yes, it like Salah most likely gets a shot off, but also I think the fact Diaz is still covering. It's not like Gahey. Yes, he's being beat, but I think with Diaz coming around the side, Donnarumma's rushing right out as well. Like I think it's going to be a chance, but I don't think it's a clear goal scoring opportunity. And he might not even got to the ball. Like the ball's still pretty far ahead of him. I think my biggest issue is Salah. The guy goes down way too easy, like a freaking sack of potatoes. It doesn't. All it takes is like a little touch on his shoulder or like his waist, and the guy's throwing himself to the floor. He didn't. Like that's my issue with it. But no, I don't really. I didn't. I thought it was tight. I can see why people can say it might be a deniable goal scoring opportunity, but I don't think it was a red card. I think he was. I think my only gripe would be, I think when we got a red card, obviously not bringing it back to Arsenal, but I remember we got a red card. I think it was either Ben White or Gabriel against Bournemouth, like on the halfway line or something.
Saliba.
Or Saliba, yeah, like on the halfway line or something stupid like that. And they said this, and it's just, it's nonsense like that. And you can clearly see they're covering defender. So I think, again, but that's where it goes down to the lack of consistency with the decisions of referees. Because I think, yes, the decision was right. Obviously, that Saliba one, I think, was wrong. But you just don't know what you're going to get from these referees because, there's just zero consistency. But, I think I'd have been, if you got a red card, I'd have been very shocked by that. But, you just never know. But, I think definitely City and allegedly might be putting some money in the back pockets or something. So you never know. Allegedly. So.
Please God. Can you please bookend that with allegedly? All right, let's before we wrap up the Liverpool City segment, just all right, you're 5 points I think behind us now, 4 points behind Chelsea. Champions League, you said it earlier, Khem. Do you think it's not on the cards then? Do you reckon it's looking bleak? Yeah.
Man, it's definitely troublesome times. It's worrying times for these guys. Well, maybe they're not worried, or maybe they're fine. They don't seem worried. For us watching, it sucks because we're going to be playing in Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan, wherever the hell else next season. All the stands basically. That's where Liverpool will be going. So, we'll welcome them to Anfield too.
Might be the Conference League, bro. At this rate, it might be the Conference League.
Something need to win.
I was about to say that. I'm assuming you guys have won the Europa or the UEFA at some point, so you might be able to do the whole Chelsea gimmick and go and smash everyone in the Conference League next year, and then you can say you've won it all.
But not with Arne Slot. So it depends, really. If he's still in charge, then we might have to start looking over our shoulders for finishing 15th or something like your bold Dutchman that have just started your season off like. So I don't know. I'm just tired of it, man. We're shit.
Yeah, I love it, man. Top stuff. All right, let's move on to United versus Spurs then. Early kickoff, so it was the first game. Oh no, I think there was obviously the Friday match, but it was the first game of the weekend. Finished 2-0. Brian Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes, Cristian Romero get sent off. I have to admit, lads, I love that game. From the minute it kicked off, I immediately settled because I was definitely a bit stressed when we did the preview earlier and I was flipping out about we better fucking win, etc., etc. But as soon as the match kicked off, it was just confirmation. I know Spurs kind of in the first half, they didn't get battered by any means, but you could just tell they're a team in like low confidence. They pinged the ball around all right, but they didn't really look like they were going to fashion too many opportunities, and I can't remember Lamens doing anything, to be honest. Clean sheets have not been easy for us to gather, as we discussed on Friday's pod, but we managed to get one, and I can't remember a chance they had. And on our side, we didn't have a million chances, but I think obviously the sending off helps. Brian Mbeumo with a set piece goal, set piece ole. And then, Bruno shins one in at the back post in the second half. But to be honest, I can't even get too up about it, really, because I was nervous kind of beforehand, considering how bad our run was against Spurs. But my head kept telling me that Spurs are shit. Like I said on the last pod and many pods, since I changed my tune about their title charge, they're rubbish, man. There's no way. I genuinely think there's a bit of a chance that Tottenham get dragged into this relegation scrap. I don't know if big up Rhys has joined. I genuinely think they've got a bit of a tough run, haven't they? I think they're gonna play you lot. They're gonna play Arsenal in a couple of weeks' time. They've got a couple of other tough games as well. They could really be in that scrap if Forest and West Ham keep picking up points. But from our side, it was pretty smooth sailing, man. I can't really complain. As my subtitle headline thing says, Kobe effing Mainu, man. What a game. I don't know if you, man, watched it live or watched any of the highlights, but it wasn't quite as eye-catching as the City game in terms of some of the stuff he was doing, but he was just controlling the midfield. And yeah, watching him go up against Conor Gallagher on the other side, who was the rumoured person that Amrin was trying to sell Kobe Mainu to bring in, was poetic justice. Because thank fucking God we didn't do that deal, because otherwise I'd been livid, man. Kobe Mainu would be in Naples right now with McSauce doing crazy stuff, and we'd have Conor Gallagher just doing water carrier stuff in our midfield. It would have been diabolical. But yeah, thank God we kept him and we got the 2-0 win, man. I'll throw it to you, Rhys, since you just joined. I don't know how much you saw of this game, but do you think the Romero sending off, because I think it was around the 30th minute, right? Do you think that changed the game and kind of killed their chances?
Yeah, most definitely. I did think they were in the game up until then. They looked okay. But it's just when your luck's down, it's down, isn't it? And then Romero being Romero. I mean, I've been there. I've seen red cards this season, quite a lot of them. You do sort of get frustrated at that stupidity of the player when he should know better. But they were well in the game at that point. I'm not saying they would have won it, but at the same time, it just changes the whole dynamic, and it just made, I guess, it easier for United. Even though I thought the first goal was quite well worked for United, even though there wasn't a lot of power behind Mbeumo's shot. But I think, 100%, I would put that down on sort of Romero. Stupid challenge. It doesn't need to be made at the end of the day. And it just puts the whole game in jeopardy for Spurs and made it quite easier for United. Not that United were poor, I just think Spurs that were up for it.
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't. I don't think we were cooking them by any means. I think it was quite an even game, but they just didn't look threatening to me. They were on the ball and they had little periods where they kind of had us in our half, but I didn't. You know, when a team just, like, for example, we'll use that beautiful Bournemouth game that caused our Rafa Facts episode afterwards, right? Like every time Bournemouth attacked, it looked like they might score. Whereas with Spurs, when they had the ball in our half, I just didn't feel like they were going to do anything. And maybe that's because of just how low I rate Spurs, or I don't know how high I rate United at the moment or whatever. But it was definitely more even. But I think even after the sending off, I still don't think we absolutely hammered them. I don't think we played like amazingly in this game. The second goal came and I think we deserved it, but it wasn't. I don't think we were beating down the doors to try and thrash them 3 or 4-0. But it definitely killed off their chances.
I actually thought it was shaping up to be a really entertaining game before the sending off. Like, I was actually quite angry at Romero for doing it, just because it actually looking like it was going to be quite a fun watch. Like, one of the big things that obviously everyone complains about this year with the league is, like, obviously everyone's set up in such a way that stifles the opponent. And it takes me back to, like, a Michael Owen quote, one of the very few ones that actually makes any sense. But when he talks about it's easier to knock a house down than it is to build one. And he's trying to basically shit on defenders and say it's easier to stifle than it is to actually create. But this game between United and Tottenham was like, you both weren't, the other one was like had weaknesses and you're both kind of going after each other. And I know Spurs didn't have any, like, let's say, clear-cut opportunities, but there was one that nearly fell to Solanke that he probably could have done a better job on. And it was quite lucky actually for United to be able to get out and clear it. And then there was obviously like a Gallagher chance, I think, near on Lamans. And there were a couple of like little tidy things that they were doing. And then Romero goes and just ruins the whole game with something that he didn't need to do. Like it comes off of him trying to dribble. And I'm just like, bro, leave that to Mickey van der Ven. That is not your bag. You are just a shithouse. You stifle, you go out there, you rattle people. Just stick to that. That's what you know how to do. But it just feels like every time he wants to challenge in on someone, he always feels like he must leave something on them. And it's just like, mate, given the way that the Premier League works nowadays, very rarely actually going to get away with challenges like that where you try to leave something on someone. Even if you get the ball, if you end up like stamping on someone, whatever else, you see red cards given for that all the time. And so I actually think I'm quite angry at Romero because he ruined like what was going to be a half decent game. And then from there, like I think Man United can take some positives from the game in that it wasn't like the Chelsea game or the Everton game where they got a man sent off and still ended up beating you or whatever it was, right? Like in that case, you can take a positive, but I think you take too much else of a positive out of it because like they've got essentially no people fit. They had to put Dragon Son or Dragosin or whatever his name is onto the pitch. He was woeful.
Dragon Son is crazy.
Yeah, I'm calling him Son of Dragon from now on because man's got ridiculous. I think after like I wouldn't put too much stock into the win from Man United. Obviously, it's really good that like you are one step closer to my man cutting his hair. But yeah, I honestly feel like the sending off just completely ruined the game. And yeah, after that, Tottenham were pretty much impotent. They could do nothing after that point. It was just a question of when you were going to score the second, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, no, I hear it. I do think, and you're right. There were like definitely some. I don't know if they were even half chances, but they got into some dangerous positions definitely before. And I agree with you. There wasn't. It didn't look like we were going to have a team that set up super defensively in the game. Like Tottenham were going to try and give it a go when they got the ball. And definitely Mickey van der Ven was marauding a few times, but I don't know, man. I just didn't like in the other games. Again, when we played Fulham, for example, when Fulham went forward, I was genuinely a bit worried about what they were doing.
Yeah, they don't at all have a free flowing attack. They are the most robotic, weird team to watch when they attack. Like it's just Xavi Simons just like running around in circles trying to find something, trying to make something out of nothing. And I mean the wingers. Their wingers are basically just like Elanga regens. Like they're all Elanga regens that can't really do anything apart from knock the ball really far and run at you. Outside of that, like, that's all they can do.
Yeah, I think you could also definitely see the difference in the confidence, right? Like you could see that one team had been winning recently quite consistently and were a bit more kind of confident with the ball. And you could definitely tell Tottenham have had a rough time because yeah, they actually had quite a few of their like first team 11 players back for the game. Surprisingly, they had a doggy obviously back at left back. They're pretty much their whole defense was, apart from Porro, was what you would want in their first choice. Their midfield was probably the best options they had. They're obviously missing Maddison and Kulusevski, but Solanke was back, and so yeah, I think they had some of the ingredients they needed to do something, but they're just obviously on the floor, man, and. Yeah, United were able to get the win. Do you guys actually think this Tottenham chat of them maybe going down? I'll throw it to you, Khem. Do you think it's actually possible that Tottenham go down? Because I think they're in 15th now. Palace overtook them yesterday with that win. They're only 5 or 6 points ahead of the relegation zone, and they, like I said earlier, they've got a tough run. Do you think they could actually get relegated?
It's a good question because they're a real mess. I think they would just about survive. Like what was last year, 17th?
Yeah.
I think that could be a reality again for them. I don't see them falling in, but it's a really bad look for Thomas Frank how well Brentford are doing, by the way, considering they moved a few players around as well, and their new guys come in and they look actually better than they did I know he's helped them evolve over time, but it's just awkward when your former team are absolutely crushing it with less resources, and you've gone to the new shiny new toy, and you're just doing as bad as the guy before you. I think they would just make it. I feel like it's still just between Forest and West Ham, and maybe Leeds will get dragged into it just because they don't have as much quality in their team. Like, I think Spurs still have one or two good players who might make it into at least the squad of some top teams in Europe anyway. But the one thing that's great about Spurs is we all argue a lot, but they're the one thing that unites us in the fact that we can always be sure that they are just god awful. That's one thing that we can always be certain of: death, taxes, and a shit Tottenham. So that will always be the way, man. But I don't think they'll go down. It'd be funny if they did, though.
Yeah, honestly, I saw someone say that. Obviously, I think they were a Chelsea fan. They said the ideal end result for them is that Chelsea get top four, Spurs go down, and then Arsenal bottle the title, and then that was going to be the best scenario for them of all.
Yeah, I think you see how Everton, so many years Everton should have gone down, even with points deductions, and somehow made it out the hood. I think Spurs will just about do that, even if it's a final day, last minute craziness. They'll hang in there.
But I think, you know what? Yeah, the only reason why, and I'll throw it to you, Io, after this. But this season, the promoted teams are getting more points on average than in previous seasons. So I actually think this could be a season where you might need like 35 plus points to stay up. And if that is the case, can Spurs get 40 points or something odd to stay up? I don't know. Io, do you think they can get 40 points? I think they need 11 or 12 more points to reach there. Do you think they can do it?
That is so wild that we're talking about 40 points for a team that was in the Champions League final like a few years ago. But no, it's tough. It's for them, like, obviously not tough for me watching. It's absolutely joyful. But they are in a disarray. Like, I've got a friend that's a Tottenham fan. We were watching the game yesterday, and he was just saying like the butterfly effect of them sacking Pochettino to what they've become is just crazy, and it is. Yeah, it literally just goes back to that one sacking has just changed their entire fortunes. But yeah, I think you're right. I think, like you said, the promoted teams, they don't look as pathetic, I guess, as they usually are. Apart from maybe Burnley, but like Leeds have been good. And God, who's the other team that came up?
Sunderland.
Sunderland, and then obviously Sunderland. Yeah, so like the promoted teams of things. So Leeds, I think Leeds might stay up. They're looking like they're like Calvert-Lewin's like trying to freaking play for a World Cup place at the moment right now. So so he's firing, and so yeah, no, I'd be nervous as a Tottenham fan. It'd be crazy if they got relegated. Like, I don't even understand how that would be possible, but I think if they get their players back, obviously they have been very unfortunate with injuries. It is mental that they've had only fit 11 players, but then. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's what happens when you're just a terrible club. You also make Christian Romero your captain, who refuses to just stay on the pitch and complain about the fact you don't have fit players, and he gets red cards. So, but yeah, no, I do feel sorry for Thomas Frank, though. As you said, I think I actually rate him as manager, but it's not a good look. The fact, that Brentford are doing a pretty decent job of him not there, because I actually thought he was a pretty good manager. So it'll be interesting to see. But no, I think they should. I think they've got 20 good players for them to go down. Like, realistically, but you just never know with football. But I wouldn't be sad whatsoever.
I think it's going to go down to the very end, because I West Ham are on a really good run, right? And really, they've got to worry about West Ham because I think 19 and 20, they're like done. Those places are basically finished. Like Burnley and Wolves, they're going down. Yeah. And they're pretty much defeated in there. They're not even going to fight anymore. So you can forget about them lot. But it's that pack above them of like West Ham, Leeds, Spurs, and Forest. Like the four of them are going to be proper duking it out. And I mean, if everything goes right, then yes, Tottenham can go down. But I think it's less comfortable than last year. So even they came 17th last year, I think if I remember correctly, the gap between 17th and 18th last year was huge. Like it,
Yeah,
it wasn't close.
They didn't even get 40 points last year, and they got 38. I think they.
This is my point.
I think it was bad last year.
Yeah, and I think 19th and 20th, like they ain't got to worry about them because they're literally going to finish on like 20 points max, both of them. Like they're both crap. But that 17th, or sorry, that 18th spot, it looks like it could end up going close to 40 points. And I think that's where Ant's point's right. And there are some tasty games on like that last 2-3 weeks of the season. And I mean, Tottenham could easily get dragged into it, especially if they sack Frank, which is what the fans seem to want. They kind of get into this lull phase. They're really heavy on trying to sack him. Now they've kind of not given up on sacking him, but they don't see any action from the board. A bit like Khem with Liverpool, right? Don't see any action from the board, but I think it will just ramp back up again because they've got Champions League. Don't forget that. Like they've also got to play Champions League games. I know they're likely to up quickly, but like the draw is relatively favourable for them, right? I don't think they're in the playoffs, so like they're gonna have to contend with that as well. And imagine if they get a couple more injuries, like they're done for. Madison's not coming back. I don't know if Kulusevski's coming back this season either. They're going to have to rely on the absolute dross that they have in their attack to save them. And if their like main defender, they like, you know, sometimes claim world-class defender in Romero can't stay on the pitch and he's gone for the next 4 games, you could easily see the next 4 games being terrible as well.
Yeah, this is the thing, man. I don't know. Like, if I get the points, and what you said, I was true. They, in theory, they've definitely got good enough players to stay up, but most of those ones are either wildly out of form, wildly unfit, or out for the season. So they are going to have to rely on some youngsters stepping up, the Odebears, the Tells, the Pape Mate Sars, and these guys to step up in those positions, and obviously keep Solanke fit, which is pretty difficult. Xavi Simons needs to play much better than he's been doing for them to stay up. Otherwise, it gives me a feeling of the West Ham teams in the early to mid noughties when they had really good players, but somehow they still managed to go down, and it was baffling. Like, but it could go the way that Khem said, like the Everton team that's always flirting with relegation but never goes down. I don't know, but it's going to be fun to watch. Regardless.
Can I just say something about United? I noticed that you guys have now got more points than you did all of last year. I really wish we were podding last year, so we could have enjoyed. You must have been hell, man.
We conveniently didn't pod for the back end of last season. It was because of work commitments, but it just was very nicely timed on my side, especially after the Europa League final. Europa League final, I was
hammering him in the prediction league, and United were absolutely woeful, and Arsenal were like not going to achieve anything. So it got to that point. It was just like, why are we doing this? These two teams have nothing to talk about.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know. The pod may have blown up if I was just crashing out consistently for 20 weeks straight. Who knows? But anyway,
don't worry. The pod will blow up when Man United go again, and then you do crash out. It will be great.
Well, we'll see, man. Carrick's at the wheel right now, and yeah, hopefully people will be getting haircuts on Tuesday evening. All right, let's move on to. I will pull up the Wolves-Chelsea game in the run-in to just give Razor some more time to join the pod. So we'll go Chelsea's game, 3-1 win at Wolves. You were 3-0 up at half-time. Cole Palmer, first half hat-trick. I read somewhere this is like the 3rd or 4th time he's done that already in like 3 seasons with Chelsea, or 2 seasons with Chelsea. It's some crazy stat like that. But yeah, if only you guys could fucking hold on to the 3-0 and not concede, that would have made my weekend even better. But yeah, you somehow did concede, and it ended 3-1. What did you make of it, Rhys? Were you happy? I guess because Rossignol, if you take away the Carabao, he's won all his games, hasn't he, as manager? So, like, he's on a bit of a run. There's some momentum. What did you make of it, bro?
Yeah, man. Definitely. Can I just say, the 3 first half hat tricks in the Prem for my boy. Not this pen merchant you lot talk about. I don't know where all that talk came.
Two of those goals were penalties.
I'm glad you said it yourself, because that's what was coming out of my mouth. Literally, those words were coming.
I think, what was his total goal contributions? It's like over 80 goal contribution. 17 were pens, but you want to tell me about pen merchant? Have a day off. Have a day off. Anyway, this is not why we're here. Yeah? This is not why we're here. You can't deny greatness. Like, I know you lot are seeing it. Like, I'm seeing it. So boy, yeah. Let's get back to where we was at. Wolves. That was a good game against opposition. We should win against. So yeah, it's looking good. I think Rossinha, he's built up a good sort of midfield trio with Caicedo, Andre Santos, and Enzo. I think that's probably the best midfield three we have going forward. So I think we need to stick with that. But in all, yeah, we're doing well. We're getting goals, but we're beating teams we should beat. So I think just checking the run after Leeds. It starts to get tough in March. I think we play Arsenal away. We've got City at home. I think Liverpool are in there, and I think Tottenham are in there, plus the kickoff for the Champions League as well. So I think, yeah, let's not get carried away. I think Rossinha's still got to earn his keep. And that's when sort of the real test will come in, sort of March times. And I was obviously listening to the pod, obviously you lot last week, and I did agree with pretty much the majority of it. I won't lie. I do feel like we could have gone for it. I get like Rossinha doesn't want to get popped off the pitch, as I like to use. I like that term. So I sort of get it, but it's a cup semi-final, and at the same time we did need to push it a bit more. So, but I think Ray, you said he hasn't. It's Rossinha. Obviously, forget all the PR stuff. I don't care about that. But you said he hasn't improved Chelsea. He definitely has, bro. We didn't win a game in December, all of December. And if you look at the stats going forward, we're actually much better in terms of our directness, forward passes, XG, goals scored. So he's definitely putting his own stamp on the team. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, he is making us better. And I think you have to take into account the run we was on in December was awful. Like, we were trash. We was like going ahead against Villa, dropping points. Not beating Bournemouth. Yeah, there was a few games in there that was tough to watch. So I'm not saying he's doing great. Like I said, he's winning games he should be winning. It's the real test is in March when all these other teams come in and we'll see what he's really made of. But I don't think you can fault him. I think you have to take into account we haven't had a fully fit squad as well, which I guess everyone can use. But yeah, it's just it hasn't been like the easiest of like navigations for him. So yeah, bar the Arsenal game, which we did kind of go for it in the first game, and Arsenal did sort of prove that they were the better team. So yeah, I think maybe we'll have to just put that game behind us and just move on, because we still got a lot of tough fixtures to come up and a lot to play for. So yeah, if Cole can get back fit, then we will be Palmer FC again. I know Jonty's gonna hate that, but yeah, I'll be here. Like, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, 3 points onto Leeds, and then the FA Cup, and then yeah, we'll see when the real business starts.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
man. Go on, Johns.
Rhys, I think you can jump in on this, right? But I do want to say one thing, which is since he's come in, you have played Charlton, then Arsenal, you lost, Brentford at home, Paphos, Crystal Palace, Napoli, West Ham, Arsenal again, you lost, and Wolves. We talk about like improving the team. I agree with you. I actually do think in terms of the way that you play, it looks better. And the biggest thing that I think he has shown so far is he doesn't do all these weird experiments that Maresca used to do. And I think he did it once and you went down and then he immediately changed it at half time and then but I don't feel like it's I don't feel like you can say that he's improved you yet, because I mean, Chelsea, you're a big trophy man, you're a big trophy fan base, and so far he's put you out of one.
Bro,
Whereas Maresca
the stats
had you
are there.
winning a couple of good ones.
In terms of the
So
way we play.
is it trophies or is it playing well? Like, which one do we care about?
Brother, listen. Listen. The stats are there. Like, got the more directness. If you watch Enzo Maresca's play, it's a slow build-up. It's a lot of patience. Like, even the substitutions, if we would go behind, he would take time to make subs. Sometimes he would get them wrong. Like, you could see Liam Rosenior's actually, he's thinking. I'm not saying like, well, don't get me wrong. I obviously appreciated Maresca, but you can see the difference in terms of the stats going forward. That's what I'm trying to say. And then you talk about the games we won in recently under him. Well, in December, we lost to Leeds, drew to Bournemouth, lost to Atlanta, beat Everton, drew to Newcastle. Like, tell me. So
you beat Arsenal 1-1 as well. Don't forget that.
So, no, but that's not like, yeah, right. You can come with the jokes, but my point is the results and the stats are there. So like, he has improved. Like, whether the teams are good enough or not, but we weren't beating those teams in December.
When you said the injuries, I just wanted to ask, when you said the injuries, did you mean the main squad or the bomb squad? Because you have like 3 squads, so I didn't know which one you were referring to with injury issues.
Well, the main squad where we're playing Liam Delap at right wing. Times are hard, man. I'm living off scraps. What can I do?
But yeah. I get your point, right? Which is like, under Maresca, you were losing against the teams that you should be, and actually doing really well against the teams that you'd expect not to be. Like, when you slapped Barcelona, you did test us. Right? Like, you were winning the games that were, probably mean more to a fan base in terms of like the occasion, but you were losing or getting shocked by some of the teams that you are beating, like you'd expect to beat. Whereas under Rosenior, it might be the other way around. I guess my question to you is, which one would you prefer? You prefer to go out there, do the Man United thing like under Amorim and Ten Hag, where you beat all the teams that are actually good and get upset by all of the crap teams, or would you prefer to just slap all of the teams that you're supposed to slap and then lose to all of the teams that you're supposed to lose to?
We need to do both, man. That's the only way we're going to make it to top 4.
It's true. It's true though. Like, it's obviously true though. Yeah, go on, bro. It's obviously true that you need to and you want to do both, but I think it's just a bit unreasonable to expect that immediately of Rosenior, right? I think that's the point we were kind of making on last week's pod, on Friday's pod, is that he's come in and he's been elevated to a position where he probably is not ready for. And right now he's just firefighting. And he's just trying to get wins in games that he can get wins in and make it to the big games and avoid getting battered.
Which one do you think is like more a sign of his potential as a manager? Like, in terms of, is it the ability to beat the big teams that shows like he can hang with them, or is the ability to just slap up the small teams that you expect to beat?
You'd expect him to beat the weaker teams, because that's where you can actually really judge him and judge the players and form a pace. He's realised the limitations of the team. Like, he lost by, let's face it, a 1-goal margin to you twice, but it was a 1-goal margin. So he wants to also guarantee his job into next season. So he's not going to get battered. Like, it's the same way as Sean Dyche or David Moyes or these lot will park the bus away to the big teams, because they know there's a likelihood they'll lose the match, but they're not going to get absolutely pammed. They don't want to have that on their CV. So I think it's good from him. He's conscious of the fact that this team is much better than us. We might get lucky, because football, you never know what could happen in sport. But he knows, okay, realistically, we probably won't beat Arsenal, certainly at the Emirates. So let's just form a game plan and see if it works. Like, and if it doesn't, oh well. But if he was not beating the pathos and whoever the hell else out there that's absolute garbage, Charlton and stuff like that. That's a bigger issue because you should be beating them. You don't even need a coach really to turn up to Charlton. You could send the assistant. Sorry, Charlton fans, if you're watching. So yeah, like that's what I'd expect out of him. So as much as we can mock him and he's Moss and everything, IT crowd, etc. But he's had a good start. Like as a young English coach of colour as well. I'm happy to see it for him, man. It's nice because we don't have too many managers, So. Shout out Rhys Senior.
But it's also the way they do it, right? So if he's scraping wins against the rubbish teams and getting hammered by the big teams, and then that's concerning. If he's scraping wins against the big teams or battering them and losing wildly to the rubbish teams is concerning. It depends how they do it. I actually think the way he's done it is probably the most sensible thing, right? He's tried to go after wins against the smaller teams, and I think the West Ham one was the biggest blip, where the first half it was diabolical and then you kind of had to scrape it. But in the rest of them, they've been pretty comfortable for the most part, and I feel like he's done a decent job. And then in the big games, I think the big games, they probably just came a bit early for him. Like that first Arsenal game, I agree with Rhys, he did go for it a bit more, but it was like his second or third game in charge. Like he probably didn't have enough time. Yeah, probably didn't have enough time to prep for it properly. And that's why I think the second leg was a bit more, like, my opinion, he should have gone for it more than he did. Because he actually had time to prep for that one. He had a view on how Arsenal play from the first game as well. And he knew what he had to do, because the second leg, you know what you need to try and achieve, right, to get through, and he didn't really do it. But it's probably still a bit early to judge him. Rhys, I'll throw it to you, mate, because we talked about in the group chat a little bit. There were a lot of penalties in that game, and there was a potential for another penalty as well. I think Jose Sarr kicked João Pedro as well, and I saw some Chelsea fans online saying that should have been a penalty. Do you think they were all pens, or do you think some of them were maybe a bit soft?
I think some of them were a bit soft, but I also think when you're defending at the highest level, you need to, like, there's certain things that you can't really complain about. Like you could say like, I feel like that's tough if it went against me, but it's kind of like the sort of thing where if it went against your team, you'd be a bit like, that's soft. But if that was your striker in the box, like if those were your situations, like your team could have benefited from, you're always going to be like, I won it. I think it's more, again, like whenever we talk about like refereeing and penalties, it's like I struggle to find consistency across a lot of these decisions. I can't like really remember what it was, but like when you guys were talking earlier, I was listening. I heard Ayo talking about if he's still awake. I heard Ayo talking about how what was that?
Man waved.
Like he was Queen Elizabeth.
It was an acknowledgement.
I heard her talking about the red card that Saliba got, and how like we've seen a couple of those tackles this season. We're never going to see another red card for it, and it's like feels like some of these decisions aren't being like enforced consistently, which is disappointing. I think would I have liked to have do I think it was a red card? Yeah, it's okay. It wasn't that. I think if the game was in the balance, you feel a lot more strongly. But just like
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Tap the banner to learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
How can we be there going on about like more penalties when you got 2 penalties already in a game, like against the bottom side? I feel like
the first one was soft, but the second one was so stupid. He should have given 2 penalties for it. So they get what they get. Mosquera is a moron. What is he doing to just dash? He honestly he just turned into Adama Traore and just dashed, man. But absolutely no reason on the corner of the box where he was going nowhere. It was stupid.
Now, we need to disregard that Mosquera, not your one, obviously the Wolves one, because isn't he the one that stuck his finger up Gabby Jesus's, let's not mention it, in that one game? That guy is a strange brother. So I think we just need to disregard anything he ever does, because that is the first pen. Bro, I've never seen a player literally two-hand push someone in the back in the penalty area so obviously. It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. So, yeah, I mean, you do remember the game last season? Yeah.
Chelsea,
yeah.
Gabby Jesus got a yellow card for getting molested.
It's true that, but the you say that a lot of pen shots. No, it's true. He did. He got punished for that one, isn't it? In more ways than one. But there was that Bournemouth game where Kluivert bagged a hat trick of penalties, isn't it? So I mean, Cole Palmer was on for another penalty. He could have completed the penalty hat trick with that one.
We've got to give him props though for the goal that he scored to actually seal the hat trick. I make jokes about the pen merchant and this, that, and the other, but he absolutely binned that third one. It was a disgraceful finish.
He confirmed also after the game that he is playing with an injury. So you said, Rhys, just now that you hope he gets over it, but isn't it a situation where he needs surgery or something? So he's either going to play through with it now until the World Cup, or he's got to get the surgery and maybe miss the World Cup, right? So surely this is going to be what you're going to get from him till the end of the season, right?
Yeah, it could be a bit hit and miss. I think it depends on. I think it would be maybe too late for him in recovery to get surgery now. So I think he's only thinking about the World Cup. Whether that will be beneficial to him and for us, we don't know, because a fully fit Palmer obviously would be much better than the recent sort of versions of him we've been getting. But then if he can do that every once in a while, then I'll take it, I guess. But I think it's on him and the medical staff. I don't think they would mismanage it to a point where he can't physically play completely. So he might as well just get surgery. So I think it just depends how he manages the injury and the game load that we have, like how far are we going to go in these competitions. And obviously we need to stay in the fight for top four. So I think it's how much can we sort of keep him available, but not overly use him for now, because I don't think surgery is an option. It doesn't seem like it's an option.
Yeah, no, you got to just keep managing it. I think it looks like, and it'd be a different scenario if you're comfy in your position, but you're obviously in a top four race as well, so you need him to contribute and get you over the line. All right, let's move on to the Arsenal segment then.
Wait.
Go on.
I want to ask Rhys one question. Sorry, have you seen what Paul Merson said about Palmer missing Jackson? And how he probably would prefer to play with a player like Jackson than to play with a Delap, even a Pedro. I have to get your thoughts on it.
I actually thought from the Pochettino era, that Jackson-Palmer link-up was underrated. I actually thought it was really good. I do like Jackson. I think Nash actually said something at one of the start of the pods where he said Jackson was better than Delap. And you know what? he might be right. But no, I think Jackson's problem was his end product. Other than that, his link-up play was good. He was good on the ball. I do think him and Palmer had a really good thing going, but I think Jackson had his moments where like stupid mistakes were made, like red cards in important games, missing chances, maybe not passing when he should. So, but he does miss that type of link-up. He does. Will he find it with João Pedro? Maybe, but he ain't getting that with the lap. I'll be honest.
He'll get it with Garnacho. He'll get it with Garnacho, man. Don't worry.
Let me not. If we'd have to extend the pod for like another half hour, if crash out about that. Yeah.
No, yeah. Garnacho and Palmer. That's the duo going forward. All right, let's move on to the Arsenal segment then. 3-0 at home to Sunderland. Zubimendi first half with a great strike, and then 2 second half Victor Gyökeres goals. We'll go to you, Jonts. What did you make of the game? And are you happy to see your big money striker bag another 2 goals?
Yeah, no, it was a good game, but I mean, I've got to say something that I'm not to get into my IO bag, but I'm going to criticize a little bit here and complain a little bit. Man, we don't score early. Like I can't remember the last time Arsenal scored a goal within the first 5-10 minutes, and it always feels like we're kind of bedding into games, and the more we do it, the more I worry. And I've heard different people speak about it in the way that's kind of the way that Arteta sets out to play and we break teams down over time. But it does like worry me because like the clock is running. We're playing against a team that doesn't necessarily want or expect to get 3 points, but they definitely would like to get 1 if they can. And then I don't see us really like come out of the blocks flying or anything. And it is starting to worry me a little bit. In this game, obviously, it proved to not really be too much of a problem. But up until the Zubimendi goal, which was an unbelievable finish, I must add, I was starting to get a bit twitchy. And it does kind of annoy me when we end up going into half-time with like 0-0. I'm just like, guys, we're leaving ourselves 45 minutes to score against a team that we should be battering. And I mean, like after that though, it was pretty standard, right? I think Kai Havertz, he looks really good, and like I know that we've had all these different conversations about him, and people have kind of settled into the idea of him being a pretty good like 9, even though he was like heavily mocked at the beginning. They've kind of started to maybe appreciate him a bit more. Now you see him in a 10, and he looks like, again, to get a bag, but he looks way better than Odegaard. And he's able to play those passes. He looks like his link up with Gyökeres is a lot better. In general, I'm really positive about it. So I really hope he can stay fit, because I do think it adds like a different dimension to us in terms of like not playing Eze or Odegaard in the 10 and actually playing with like a slightly different profile. Because obviously they're a lot more like ball possession, dribbling, trying to find gaps, kind of just running in circles over and over again until they find a gap. Whereas Kai seems like a bit more couple touches and then play it. And I like to, but yeah, outside of that, big shout out to Gyökeres. Good finishes. Obviously the second one was a tap in, but the first one, it's a good finish. It's not impossible to find him apparently. So we can stop this whole madness about, oh, he's not making the right runs. He's getting in the right positions. Just give body. And then, yeah, outside of that, Martinelli, I saw something that he would be like the 5th highest goal scorer in Chelsea history if he played for you lot. So I just have to add that one in. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Martinelli. Very unselfish, great play. I feel like we all have another backup option in terms of a striker from him as well. He looks really, really natural down the middle. But yeah, I shall rest my case there. I expect a response later, and I'll be waiting for it.
What did you make of the game? Were you happy with the lineup? Shall we say first of all? I just want
to say my IO bag is heavy right now, boy. Taking Johnson on taking Johnson with you down this path of positive critiques when you win. Some people there was weeks of attacks I've had to suffer because I'd call things out, but when Jones does it, he does it peacefully and he's allowed to save peace. It's a nice place to be, Jones, isn't it? Like, but no, it was.
This is the comfortability that comes with balance, my friend. Try it.
This is what I do. No, it was a good win. It was effective. It was. I thought Sunderland might. I think obviously they caused us trouble in the first when we played them at their ground. But no, it was effective. It wasn't. Don't think there's any issues. Do agree with the whole point about not scoring early. They do kind of look a bit, but I think that's just an Arteta game plan. I think as it is, just like break them down eventually, like death by a million cuts type of vibe, and then once you kind of get there, then you get there. But that was good. I think Havertz. I think Havertz has always been better as a. He was never a number 9. I think he was always going to be like a 10, but I just don't think we didn't have a striker for him to play off. Jesus was never fit enough, so you had to play him there. And now, I think it's good to have an option. Like I've just what that man put me through for 2 years. I can't overlook that. He made me cry. I think we could have he missed many sitters, and that can't be forgiven for what he did to Arsenal Football Club for those couple of years. But if he comes back in and he fits into this role as being an option, because obviously Arteta loves him. Like he's got a lot of clearly Havertz is one of his favorite players, and I think he's already. I think as long as Havertz is fit, I think he's going to be playing no matter what. So if he comes in, does a job, doesn't look out of place, he seems like he knows. He said he's a bit more direct compared to Eze and Odegaard. But then even Eze came on and he had a little cameo. He had he was doing little something, little jinky jinks. You know what I mean? So he was like he showed a bit more like directness as well, and but overall it was a very efficient performance. I don't think he had any issues, And it's I think more the same really. We'll see how we go this coming week. But yeah, no, it was a good, clean performance. No critiques for me, which is it's a good sign. It's definitely a good sign.
Gave us like 3, bro. You just gave 3 critiques and then he says no critique.
Where's the critiques? That's constructive criticism. What's feedback? You need feedback. Bro.
Critique comes from word. Criticism comes from critique. They literally have the same Latin source.
Constructive, bro. That's all. It's not critiques. I'm just saying it's observations and things you did well and things. I don't think I was being critical. I've been a lot worse, man. I've been a lot worse.
Let's throw it to the sharp one. Come on, Razor.
What's going
Give us
on?
your analysis.
For starters, Antony, cheeky, because you started this all off with, you're a big money striker. Don't do that. Benjamin, whatever his name is, still
I can't win, man.
No. He was the cheapest forward signing out of all the big 6 clubs. Like, let's get it right. And currently he's on track to, if not the Eka Frike, like he's on track to score the most goals and probably be the best return on investment out of them. So let's put that in its box for starters. Secondly, Jonty's being generous. He's being generous by saying that he's getting in his IO bag. He's not getting in his IO bag unless he means he's tired. Like he's not. No, because the IO bag, last week we won, and IO started off his analysis of the game with this whole like, I'm not happy. But this week you got bullied into submission, and Kai Havertz played well, and he did what everyone said that he was going to do in terms of unlocking players. And now you've had to walk it back several steps, but it still wasn't positive. It was still it was just shy of positive. You had to get in a little bit.
He begrudgingly was positive.
Begrudgingly accepted that we won well. The only point that I would make is like the whole scoring fast. Again, like, I think we've had this discourse about Arsenal when it comes to playing beautiful football and like different kind of things as well. There was a point in time, I remember, when Arsenal, if we didn't score early, like if it hit halftime, if it hit the 60th minute and we hadn't got a goal, it was nervous. It was 50p, 20p, as Butterchang likes to say. Do you know what I'm saying? It was squeaky bum time. We're not that team anymore. It was 0-0 at halftime in the Villa game, I swear. Like, there's been a bunch of big games this season that has been 0-0 at half time. We've dominated possession. Everyone's like, what are we going to do? We go back out 65th minute with 2-0 up. Like, free yourselves from the mental shackles of PTSD, my brothers. Try and enjoy it.
You've got to admit, though, like, it does make a fan's experience never comfortable. Like, as much as I cast Liverpool or Man City or whatever else, the one thing you've got to say about them is like when they were on run, they were coming out and slapping teams early. Like they were going to score, they were going to dominate the team and get off the pitch, and that's it. Like outside of the Leeds games and this game, I can't remember how many times we fully dominated somebody. And so I'm saying I'm happy with it regardless, right? As long as we win, I don't really care. It's just like in terms of my heart palpitations and keeping my blood pressure down, can we just like slap someone from like the first minute and just absolutely batter someone or pop someone, as IO calls it, whatever? We do that a couple of times every now and then.
They don't give out 4 points for winning in the first 20 minutes, man. You man are still going to be stressed. Your heart palpitations, they're still going to be up here. You know why? Because we haven't won a Prem in 20 years. You man are going to be stressed regardless. And that's what, look, Khem's changing his background. He's attention seeking in the corner. That's what they want. Yeah. They want you to think about the fact that we haven't won.
No, because it was talking about the heart palpitations and the struggling. I was just showing you what.
Terrified of what will be like if we do it. Enjoy the journey, man.
No, I'm just saying.
So now it's your time to do your job. But on Sunday, when you should have done your job, you didn't do your job. Can you focus on your correct priorities, please?
Whose job?
Your job, man.
You
job?
Liverpool,
Our job,
the
our
entire
job isn't to win you the
Liverpool
Prem.
League,
Why?
Borough, the Metropolitan line.
Pussy club has got to stop relying on everyone else and crying, begging Spurs, begging Liverpool. You're 6 points clear. It's a cakewalk. Focus on the Carabao.
We're not begging
on
anyone, bro.
There's three trophies in my background that you've never touched before. Focus on getting them. Yeah? Congrats on ending the drought. You just said it, 20 years on one of these. I'm just saying, stop shaking, bro. Like, I'll send you the link for the electric blanket. Do you want a hot water bottle? Do you want a onesie? I got you. Anything you need, okay? I know it gets cold in Beijing. It's certainly terrible weather here. It's raining every day in 2026, yeah? I've got you covered. Stop shaking. City will drop points again anyway. They're not that good, right? Oh, we didn't score in the first 5 minutes. What the fuck is wrong with you? You won 3-0 and you still
How are you chatting to us about moaning when you're about to get... You're trying to get rid of manager.
You're so spoiled because our manager's only won one game this calendar year.
You literally were crying for Szoboszlai to smash an own goal in so that your manager could
anything
early.
I don't care, bro.
And you're chatting to us about what we should expect.
Since the clocks went backwards, we won 6 games, bro. All right, we're trash. Okay. Antony's wedding's going to come up soon. By the time we probably win another 6 games, this is a mess. Don't make it about us, okay? Stop shaking, man. You guys are fine. You have the most complete team.
Stop trying to alleviate your expectations.
You've got all these backup strikers. You've got Martinelli, who's doing great. Havertz is doing great. Gabriel Jesus overcame his trauma from last season with mascara.
I actually agree with your overall
in the 20th minute. Oh, we're 0-0 at half time.
I actually agree with your overall.
Can you let someone speak?
I'm surprised you're still awake, bro. You're trying to keep your head up, man. Go to sleep already, bro.
It's okay. Trying to have a point to say. We've heard you speak. Let Razor speak. You just joined the pod. Let Razor speak. Let Razor speak. Just shut up for a second. For the love of God.
Let Razor speak. Monologue in the Arsenal section.
Oh my God.
Leave your monologue in the Liverpool
man
section,
is trying to speak, and you just did not shut up.
Boring Patriots, but complains about Arsenal.
Like the man is still talking. Why are you still talking? What is wrong with this kid?
I'm glad I woke you up. It's nice to see you're still with us.
Razor, please go on, please. Just please. I don't know why this man is talking. Why is man talking and saying names, bro? Like, man, like, what is wrong with him?
The maddest thing is your job was to not roll over and spread it for City out of personal pride. It was nothing to do with us, bro. I've been saying this for time, innit? Like I was saying, like, this comes down to us being good enough, innit? And us winning games. And like I was trying to say before you went wherever you went, bruv, like this isn't about like Liverpool or Spurs or whatever and this, that, and the third. This is about us. And as long as we keep winning, and we keep not dropping points when we're meant to not drop points, picking up points when we're meant to pick up points, it's going to keep going. But I think, yeah, like the control that we're exhibiting, especially when we're like rotating players in and out, like, you know, like we're not battering teams. I hear that, but like there's been a lot of things that we're working out still on the go. Despite how good we've been, there's been like a question about who's meant to be that third person in our midfield. Have we got the right profiles available to lead the line? Have we had all of our ideal front 4 or 5 fit at any point since the start of the season? Do you know what I mean? And when we get those new profiles in and stuff starts rocking, it's looking different. Like before, people were questioning on the pod whether Gyökeres should be serving shish kebabs on Dalston Kingston Road instead of kicking ball at the Emirates. But the goals are coming. Like before, we were saying, should he be called Gabriel Martin? Should we rob him of his fucking name until he gets his cha back? But he's cha-chaing again. Like, why are we upset? Why are we upset, man? Then why are we not happy? Let's be happy. Let's not give these man what they want. And that's why I started off with Antony, because it's down to the framing, and they want it. Everyone wants to frame it in a certain kind of way. And
you're too sensitive, bro. I said your big money signing. I didn't say he was expensive, more expensive than Isak or Sesko or whatever. Yeah, but striker, big. Yeah, okay, but remember what I said? I said big money striker. So is that not? Did you buy another striker for 60 million or 55 million or whatever.
Call him
I'm
a
forgetting.
small money striker, medium-sized money striker.
Oh
please.
man, come on, man. I'm willing to back your your battles with Khem when he's going on the trolling thing, but
we're not battling with Khem, man. Khem's battling himself.
Thing,
you can battle me, pull up a picture like this.
The Gyökeres segment, we can get onto it because I'm a fair man, right? He's scoring goals now, and even though I don't like the style, and I still think he's dead in terms of technically and stuff like that. When you score, I can't criticize someone who's scoring, right? He's not shinning them off the side of his shins or off his left bollock or the back of his heel. He's scoring goals that are, you'd want your striker to score, like deadly goals in the 6-yard box or whatever. He's doing that. So fair enough. I still don't rate him. I still think it's a small sample size, but I'm not going to cuss him out every single week when he's actually scoring, right? So fair dues. He scored a few goals. I still don't rate him.
Do you still stand on the fact that you call him the shittest striker you've ever seen?
Do you want to go back to the Arsenal Chelsea who had the worst touch between him and Rafinha? I didn't make that up.
Answer my question. Is he still the shittest striker you've ever seen?
He's not the shittest striker I've ever seen. All right, I'll give you that.
Right,
I've seen shitter strikers. In the big teams, he's definitely one of the worst strikers I've seen.
He's
I will
not the
still
shit
stand by
striker
that.
you've seen this week, at least. Last week he was.
Yeah,
so it's okay, bro. Don't let him try and do that to you.
We had a Chinese brother called Dongfang Zhuo. All right, I can't say he's the shittest striker I've ever seen. I saw that guy. I saw the other Korean guy that Arsenal had for a bit. He was dead. I've seen shitter strikers, but I'm just underwhelmed because I thought he was better than he was when he was scoring goals and scoring. That's it. Bro, I take Weghorst over him. I still take Weghorst over him.
All right, okay. Take a note of that, everybody. Antony has just taken Weghorst, who scored a grand total of about 4 goals for Man United over Gyökeres. Just
shout out Weghorst.
That was it. 1 hour, 26 minutes, 18 seconds on the 9th of February. Everyone, mark that in your calendars, please.
I will still stand on that. I'll take Weghorst over Gyökeres, no problem. All right, we'll get into the preview section now, guys. We'll do the prediction league update first. Go on, Rhys. Go for it.
Question. How many goals did you say, Johns?
What, Martinelli?
Yeah, where would he be?
I think he'd be 6th.
Oh yeah, run this back.
He'd be 6th in your top goal scorers
of all time.
At the Premier League era, yeah.
See, that's why you should do your Googles and maybe focus on.
Bro, I don't Google nothing. I'm on Twitter or X, or whatever you want to call it.
All right,
that's much better. He's still in your fucking top.
Rhys, that is not a flex. Rhys, that is not a flex, man. That is not a flex.
No, he's not 5th. He's not 5th.
That's not a flex, though. He shouldn't be in your top 10, bro.
He's 9th behind John Terry.
He's 9th behind John Terry, bro. Do your
That's
Google.
not a flex, Rhys.
Stop misinforming the people. That's what we need to. Johns is misinforming the people.
But Rhys, that
John
is
Terry in your
shameful.
all-time top 10 is terrible.
That's what we need to.
Has he got
centre-back
the same Martinelli Champions League goal as Eden Hazard?
He is Martin. His name is Gabriel Martin.
You've just done an own goal there, dude.
Yeah, Rhys, how are you flexing John Terry in your top 10 scorers? That is a crazy flex.
That is terrible, man.
That's not good.
I'm sure. Give him 5 minutes. Let's go through some of the previews. Give him 5 minutes. He'll pull something better up, and then we'll go again.
All right, let's go through the prediction league then. Yeah. So for those listening on the audio platforms, so Khem is still first with 86 points and 15 correct scores. Still first. Yep. Correct. Well done. Rhys is second with 85 points and 14 correct scores. Jonty is third with 82 points and 12 correct scores. Io is fourth with 78 points and 10 correct scores. Razor's fifth with 77 points and 9 correct scores. I am sixth with 76 points and 7 correct scores. And I think I was bad last week from announcing Nash's position, but you get the gist. He's still there where he was before, 64 points and 10 correct scores. So, yeah, we'll get into the previews then. Yeah, obviously, we've got the midweek fixtures. Got Chelsea against Leeds. We'll come to you, Khem. What's your prediction on this game?
I just want to hear that again. Number 1, yeah? Still, all right? Number 1. God, I don't even know. I think I sent it to you before the Liverpool match, so I really should have changed it. Chelsea leads 1-0 Chelsea.
All right, 1-0 Chelsea. Rhys, what's your prediction for this one? Chelsea leads.
1 second, I can't remember. 3-1.
Copy me.
3-1. Jonty, what's your prediction in this one?
I also went 3-1 Chelsea.
All right, Io, what's your prediction? Chelsea leads?
2-1 Chelsea.
All right, 2-1 Chelsea. Razor, what's your prediction?
I've also gone 2-1 Chelsea.
All right, 2-1. I've gone 2-0, and Nash has gone 2-1 Chelsea. All right, so we've all gone Chelsea win for that one. Khem, Spurs, Newcastle.
I'm really glad to hear Nash got his results in on time.
Yeah,
2-1 to top Spur.
Top Spurs. All right. Rhys, what's your prediction? Spurs, Newcastle.
I went 2-2.
2-2. All right. Jonty, what's your prediction in this one?
I went 2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 Newcastle. All right. Io, what's your prediction?
Spurs 1-1.
1-1. All right. Razor, what's your prediction in this one?
2-2. Predicting a Spurs win at home is... I don't know.
Yeah. It's tough business, but I have predicted a Spurs win at home. I've gone 2-1 Spurs. Have you seen this stuff with Newcastle as well? It's looking a bit dark, man, for Eddie Howe.
I don't know who they think they are trying to get him out, man. He's their best ever manager. They need to relax and remember who they are. One Carabao Cup.
Bro, the crash outs you've had Villa.
The teams who cried about the PSR problem trials out there, Villa and Newcastle, Palace. Shut up, man. Just shut up, man. Should be grateful that we don't have a league situation.
Spends 450 million now. He doesn't like the ones that complain about PSR, but before that,
because they piss their money away all the time. Who told them to spend that much on Ramsey and Wissa? Who told them to do that? No one did.
Yeah, definitely poor strategy from them.
Like Will needed, they stunk out themselves.
Yeah, struggle. Nash has gone Spurs, Newcastle 1-1. Khem, what's your prediction? West Ham versus Man United.
3-1, and the guy finally cuts his hair.
Oh, we pray, man. Rhys, what's your prediction for this one? West Ham United.
2-1 Man U.
Right, 2-1 United. All right, we're all going for this guy to get a haircut. Then, Jonty, what's your prediction?
I went 2-1, but now I'm annoyed because I'm never going to catch Rhys. We've got all the same.
How do we always end up with the same scores every week?
No. Spurs, Newcastle. You guys went different, so that's the one you got to hope comes through. Io, what's your prediction in this one? West Ham versus United.
Yeah, 2-1 as well. Unfortunately.
All right, 2-1 again. Razor, what's your prediction in this one?
I've gone 3-1. Broski's getting a haircut. He's going to have to start diversifying his content. It could be the beginning of the end of the United strand.
Yeah, it could be, man.
They should give him a haircut on the center point, like right in the middle of Old Trafford, in front of like a crowd. Everyone should be there to watch him get a haircut.
No, we don't need to.
They won't do it because it's even though it's like a funny good thing, it just amplifies how shit we've been. That my man has had to grow a massive hairdo because we can't fucking win 5 games in a row. So yeah, they'll never do that. But he'll probably do some nice live watch along where someone gets the clippers out and gives them a haircut at the end when we win, if we win. All right, I've gone United 3-2. Weirdly, I actually think this will be really close. Just like mainly because West Ham have really picked up form, and we have a pretty stinky record at their stadium. We always make an absolute meal of it. I remember that time that Ten Hag got sacked. It was after we had an absolutely diabolical L. And I've watched, Jonty, you and I have been on trains watching De Gea shovel a few goals into his own net at West Ham. So, yeah.
It's the Wan-Bissaka derby. Come on, Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah.
Prove me right.
I knew that he'd bring this up. Honestly, this guy loves Wan-Bissaka for the craziest reason. Nash has gone 3-1 Man United. So we're all gone Man United, and we've all gone United Strand to get a haircut. So, yeah, thank God. I actually, I like that guy, but yeah, Razor's right, man. I was getting a little bit tired of the content. Day 1057 or whatever without a haircut. You know what I mean? All right, Man City, Fulham. Khem, what's your prediction in this one?
Back to number one. Man City 2-0 to win.
All right, 2-0 Man City. Rhys, what's your prediction in this game?
You're going to have to bear with me 1 minute. I can't need to just mind. Sorry. City, 3-1 Man City, yeah.
All right, 3-1 Man City. Jonty, what's your prediction in this one? City, Fulham.
2-0 City.
All right, 2-0 City. Aya, what's your prediction?
Yeah, 2-0 City as well. I'm not liking John's. I'm not liking this as well.
Stay right there, my friend.
I
Stay
don't like
right
these
there.
same things with Jiggy. Not good.
Could be
All right. All right, Razor, what's your prediction in this one? City, Fulham.
4-1 Fulham. No, I'm joking. I think I actually went 2-0 City.
Right,
Last
2-0
week
City.
I went with Hope. Last week I went
Yeah.
with Hopium at Liverpool, and that was a terrible decision. So I need to think of my position in the table and be sensible.
Yes, it's we definitely got a title race going. Johnson's comfy in Champions League, and then we've got the mid-table scrap between us. So yeah, we've got to be smarter with these predictions. I've gone 3-1 Man City. I don't know why I've done that, because they're probably going to get a clean sheet with Gehi and Diaz. Fuck. All right, Nash has gone 1-0 Man City. All right, so we move on to Sunderland, Liverpool. Khem, your shit team, how are they going to do?
Yeah, talking about being smart with these things. Again, I made this before the game, but I left it. I have gone 2-1 to Liverpool.
Nice
Have
one.
you ever seen a fan so embarrassed to predict their team to win than what he has just done?
Well, we've had one win in
Yes.
2026,
Yes,
so it's
Monash,
actually
Monash 7 weeks ago.
He had no hope. He had Amarim. He had
That's
Scamarim.
bad.
Like,
Yeah, but come on. Yeah. I'm not going to do civil war with Nash, but I remember having to read out some of his scores. Diabolical stuff. Rhys, what's your prediction in this one? Sunderland, Liverpool.
I went 3-2 Sunderland. I swear they're unbeaten at home.
They are, yeah. They haven't lost at home yet.
Yeah, so I don't know where Ken's going with 2-1. Hopefully that's the one.
this is how Slot somehow stays alive, mate. He keeps on finding a way.
So let's
He's
just
got more plot armor than Walter White. This guy. He always
let's
stays
hope they
alive.
don't lose let's hope they don't lose their record tomorrow.
It's Tommy Egan, man. He doesn't go.
But yeah, 3-2. Way the lads.
Oh, yeah, come on. Good. Come on, Sunderland. Johns, what's your prediction in this one?
Rhys has made a really good point, and I did not take it into account, and I've gone for a 2-1 Liverpool. What a disgrace.
All right. 2-1 Liverpool. Aya, what's your prediction in this one?
I'm going 1-1. Yeah, tight game. I think Sunderland should be solid, and the comeback is on. This when the comeback begins.
All right, you've gone 1-1. Razor, what's your prediction in this one?
I have gone 2-1 Liverpool. I was a little bit more aware of Sunderland's excellent home record, but I think this season Liverpool are the gift that keep on giving to Arne Slot's paycheck, that is, and they are going to keep him in. And I think he will pull another result out of the bag. And Khem looked a little bit physically sick when I said that, which is
Probably a Gakpo winner as well, just to make it all perfect.
Oh,
Gakpo hat trick to win.
and I'm gonna celebrate it like it was a result last weekend, mate.
All right, 2-1 Liverpool. I've gone 2-2. Yeah, come on, Brobby, up the boy. That sounds crazy. Pause. My bad. All right, Nash's and
What's the thing with Robbie, man?
Your love of Robbie is
Robbie's love, man.
That's the one you call the beast.
Yeah,
bro.
man.
No, I didn't know. Relax, man.
Relax. He hinted that.
No.
Exactly that,
bro. Relax. Bro, in the group chat, you were the first thing you entered the Arsenal Sunderland chat was cussing Saliba and saying that Robbie's running him ragged. So chill out, you. Bro. You need to relax. You need to relax, bro.
Saliba posted better pictures on his story of him just drapesing, man, as if to say, hey, it wasn't one way. That's crazy.
Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah, he tried to fix it up. Yeah, he was trying to fix it up after. But to be fair, after Io dropped that in the group chat, Saliba immediately did much better. And
he went back to being a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
And then we had a desperation, let's claim from Io, asking him to fucking make another mistake so he could get a correct score. Let that be on the record, please.
Yeah, he did say that.
We were up 2-0 and we weren't going to lose the game. What's a goal?
Disingenuous.
What's a goal? What's a conceding a goal and a win, man?
Why aren't you supporting David Ryan's Golden Glove campaign once again? He's got enough.
He's got enough, man.
His legacy.
Crazy.
I was trying to 3-beat and you're saying he's got enough.
He's got enough.
Go support flipping Melbourne City or whatever it is.
How many Golden Gloves does a man need instead of my correct score, bro?
United, bro. Them teams there.
Correct score, bro. Come on,
glad this is live. That's so bad.
No, come on.
And I'm glad you need to keep quiet, man. God damn it. How about that? Goodness, bro.
Let's be real. Let's be real. The situation, I was clear at the top. And things have got very, very sticky for him in the prediction table. So it's very understandable why he would want the correct score so desperately. But yeah, it was mad. It was mad. Nash has gone 2-0 Sunderland in this one, so he's gone full out for a Sunderland win. All right, we'll go Brentford, Arsenal. Khem, what's your prediction in this one?
3-1 to Arsenal. And that's just because of prediction. I'm not cheering on Arsenal to concede a late goal and hate on David Raya like certain fans out there. Just a regular prediction, that's all.
All right, 3-1. David, yeah. Rhys, what's your prediction in this one? Brentford, Arsenal.
I went 1-1. I think Brentford look all right. They might. Yeah.
They do look good, man. Got a big win at St. James's Park. Igor Thiago, not Jesus, keep scoring. So yeah, good player, man. Jonts, what's your prediction in this one? Brentford, Arsenal.
I agree. Brentford do look good, and again, a big shout out to Dango Ouattara because he is an absolute baller. That ball that he played into the box first goal was disgraceful, and I think he even set up won the second penalty or whatever it was as well. So he's a really, really good player. I don't know why we've got rid of him, but I've gone Arsenal 2-0.
All right, 2-0 Arsenal. Io, what's your prediction in this one?
Bruv, annoying. The same result that Jonty. This is I'm trying to catch this guy, bruv. That's he's in my sights. But yeah, 2-0. I think we should win.
The turntables.
I know, right?
Catch me.
What a time! What a time!
EPL, trying to catch the prediction league.
What a time!
Revenge is beautiful.
Hey, the 4. Don't worry, man. We'll be back.
Razor, what's your prediction in this one? Brentford, Arsenal.
3-0 to the Arsenal.
Okay, big win. Big win. I've gone 2-1 Arsenal. I think you'll get the win, but yeah, Brentford are tough, man. And it's a Thursday night kickoff, isn't it? So it's the only game of the night. I can remember definitely some tricky games for big clubs at Brentford when they're the sole game or the early kickoff. I remember, wasn't it, Liverpool got battered there once? I'm pretty sure we got an absolute hammer in there once as well on a late night kickoff. So yeah, Brentford are difficult.
Is it on Thursday? Thank God I'm not.
It's Thursday.
That day. Oh,
yeah, Thursday night kickoff. Yeah.
Surrounded by them.
That are going to be tuned into that hate watch is a disgrace.
Yeah. They've done it on purpose, haven't they? They've obviously pushed it on purpose because they know. They're probably hoping for a bit of a humdinger. Nash has gone 3-1 Arsenal. All right, so all predictions in. We've all gone Arsenal win except for Rhys. And yeah, it looks like the biggest differentiator is the Spurs, Newcastle, and Sunderland, Liverpool games. That's probably where the tables are going to change. But before we wrap up, we've obviously got FA Cup 4th round fixtures on a weekend. I wouldn't know about that because I'm not in it anymore. My team's out already. But just like Europe, I'll be able to watch you guys play. So, yeah, it's familiar territory. Hull, Chelsea, Rhys, since you're out of one domestic cup, obviously getting to the semis and going out. I don't know if man's just left the camera, but you're back. Do you think Roshinha should go for this one and just try and keep the momentum going, or do you think he's going to do the obvious and play the youngsters or play Garnacho again, or what do you think he's going to do?
I think he will rotate, but we have to go for it. Obviously, still early days in the tournament, so you don't really want to get knocked out early on and watching like you are.
That was beautiful.
No, but seriously, like we have to kind of go. Yeah, obviously, Hull actually are looking good in the championship. I don't know if anyone's sort of been keeping up, but they're actually winning games and scoring goals, so it could be difficult. But yeah, I think in the cups that we're in, I mean, we don't have a realistic chance in the Champions League. Top 4 we need to go for, but yeah, why not? Let's have a cup run in the FA Cup.
Roshinha's, he's a Hull City legend. He's got to prove a point.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. I think he will go for it, man. But I don't think it will quite be Charlton where you can rest everyone. But I reckon he'll probably keep a couple of the first team players in there, maybe the defenders, and then rotate the rest. But yeah, you should get the dub in that one. Liverpool, Brighton, Khem. What are you hoping for? No hope.
Yeah. That's my answer, bro. I've got nothing.
You got to say what you really want to say. Say what you've been saying in the group chat. Come on.
Stay in the cup. Try and I'd love a Xabi Alonso, Di Matteo magic appearance out of nowhere and try and shithouse a little cup run here and there. But I don't know, man. I think he's here to the end of the season. So congratulations to Brighton.
Man's writing off the game immediately. Yeah, obviously I can speak on this since we got knocked out by Brighton in the last round by their second team as well. Danny Welbeck, please, brother, turn up for this one. I'm begging you, man. I already love Danny Welbeck, but if Danny Welbeck can get the winner at Anfield and knock these bastards out, that would be beautiful. But yeah, I reckon Slot will go for it. He kind of has to go for his strongest 11 and just hope that he can stay in the FA Cup because, like Rhys said, FA Cup's definitely your strongest shot at silverware. So let's see, man. We hope that either way it's going to be good. You get knocked out and we all laugh. You win.
Just reminded me that he gave up against Palace in the League Cup as well. Like he tanked the match and it didn't do anything like in the following weeks. Yeah, man.
I'm glad to remind you of that, bro. Always welcome. All right, we'll go on to Arsenal versus Wigan then. Nice. Go on, Rizzo.
Can I ask a question? If the logic is, like which it has been, that for example, just an example, that Arsenal aren't likely to win, like for example, the Champions League because they've not won it before. Why are these fans of clubs that big clubs that have won the Champions League before so defeatist about their opportunities to go on and have a good run in the Champions League?
We're talking about the FA Cup.
No, I'm just, you guys, you're all saying the FA Cup's the only cup that we've got left that we can go for this. Reset it as well. Like I'm just perplexed by this negativity. It's giving ire. What's up?
I haven't mentioned the Champions League, to be honest. I just mentioned the FA Cup, bro.
No, but you're acting like it's the only thing left for you guys. Like you just, got stuff to play for. Be positive. I just wanted to bring some positivity to the pod.
The only reason the Champions League has any hope for Slot is because the teams don't play long ball as much, and he might survive in a couple of matches here and there, and they have the Anfield factor. But yeah, I don't know with this guy, man.
See, that's the kind of energy we need, Khem.
I don't know, man. City didn't play long ball
your
as well.
Background, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe. Anyway,
it's true, man. You're showing off the trophies in the background. You got to still give it a little bit of hope in the Champions League, but
It's nostalgia.
realistically,
Aren't you happy I joined?
Yeah, Heritage. All right, Arsenal versus you got Wigan. I think they're in League One, aren't they? So nice draw. You should be able to play some of the youngsters. Obviously not Wanyeri, Io, but you can play the other youngsters like Salmon,
Nasty,
and Tuna, and Halibut, and all those guys. Well, what do you reckon for this game, though? Do you reckon
Wigan are about to get relegated again?
All right, man. I can't talk too much. We had a Grimsby, but you know what I'm saying. What do you guys think about this game, Razor? Do you reckon it's just a standard FA Cup tie? Play some of the youngsters, some of the rotation pieces, and still get through?
Arteta's an absolute madman. We're probably going to play like
Rhys is playing, isn't he? Rhys
might play 85 minutes. Norgard at centre back.
Odegaard is going to play this game. He's going to be on the pitch. We said this when we went to Pyrat. He's getting on the pitch. If he's on the bench, he's coming on.
And I was going to be in the stadium.
I was about to say, I'm actually going to watch, and I'm going to watch Odegaard play for 100%. For gritted teeth. But, yeah,
I want an Odegaard hat trick. I want an Odegaard hat trick. I'm going to be in the stadium. I'm going to find this guy as soon as the game's over, and I'm going to film it, and we're going to play it on the pod next week.
He's definitely playing a strong team, 100%. That man's not playing any sort of no youth whatsoever. Like one youth player on the team, bro. That man's getting all out. He is, bro. And I'd hope he rests with Rhys because we've got like a double game week, like 2 games, then we got like a lot of games going in like the next 3 weeks, I think. So Rhys needs a rest. So fingers crossed that you can finally get one. But you just never know.
I don't know, man. I think he will play like a weakened team. I mean, a weakened team for us does not mean it's a bunch of youngsters. But the game against Kairat is a great example. He played like Norgard, Mosquera, Kepa, Lewis Skelly, and then he brought he
still played Rhys, bro.
I know, but I mean, it's not going to be entirely changed. But just because he plays Rhys doesn't mean it's like a full 11, right? Because he brought on Ibrahim for his debut against Kairat. He's like 17.
Yeah,
he
true.
brought on Bailey Joseph. Like, I still think he can do that. I don't think he's gonna. And Kairat should be a better team than Wigan. So I slightly think he's going to go to Wigan.
Looking at that Kairat keeper might be a similar level, Brooks. I'm not going to lie. That was
we don't listen to your opinion on keepers anymore because you are. Honestly, you are Steve Jobs of keepers.
Bro, come on. You can't tell me that keeper was stank for Kairat. That was diabolical keeping. No one can defend that guy.
That was Andre Onana performance.
Bro, I look like that keeper and I'm still not backing him. He was terrible, bro. Come on, man. Fucking hell. Give me a break. But nah, you have actually, to Io's point, you have got a midweek fixture directly after that. I think it's Wolves away. It might be because of the Carabao Cup. You're playing like you've got a game kind of ahead of time to just make up for the weekend that you'll miss for the final. But yeah, let's see, man. Arteta's a madman when it comes to the lineup. So you'll probably be weakened, but which of the first 11 players will play, God knows. It would be beautiful if Odegaard plays 90 and bags a hat-trick or gets some assists just for Io to view it. We're going to need a player cam. We're going to need a player cam on Odegaard. Everything he does in that game, I want to know what happens.
I'll be cheering like the fan I am, mate. Don't you worry about it. I'll be there supporting. Front line.
Right. But we need a player cam while also a live stream of Io in the stands watching it. So that every time Odegaard does anything, you see Io's instant reaction to it.
Just as long as Eze gets minutes. I need that as long as Eze gets minutes. That's the only thing.
I'm going to tell the stewards you're a Wigan fan.
They're never going to believe that, bro. They're never going to believe that.
He's the Wigan fan.
They're never going to believe that. All right, and all right. That's the FA Cup games then, and then I guess we're back after that to cover the Premier League fixtures. Obviously, Arsenal got a double week that week. But yeah, that's enough for the pod. Crazy pod, almost 2 hours. But yeah, we'll leave it there, and let's see how these midweek games go. Hopefully, we'll still have a title race at the end of it. Hopefully, Liverpool will keep dropping back, and hopefully, United Strand will get a haircut. And we'll see you guys next week.